King of Hearts. With every sunrise is a renewed hope, so hearts would overflow with love, and smiles are drawn on the lips, and eyes glow with joy, to come together to paint an image of beauty, titled Kingdom of Bahrain. The 6th of March 1999, Bahrain, in tears, was bidding farewell to an era, to begin with hope, a new era. The eyes were looking forward in anticipation to that Arab night approaching, with a blessing and love of the people carrying the banner of joy, a torch to light up the path and hearts, promising to deliver a long-awaited dream. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa followed in his father's steps as ruler and king of the country, to carry on his father's legacy of being the King of Hearts. And in front of him was not an easy path, but the vision in his mind was clear, and its essence was humility, love, and dedication in serving the people and homeland. In the book, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, titled The First Light, His Majesty talks about his years of schooling and says, "The community that I lived in was my big school that I learned a lot from, in addition to what I learned in my years of schooling, which prepared me for a future that made me as Crown Prince feel the responsibilities incumbent upon me towards Bahrain and its youth. So I took the initiative to join one of the military colleges to be able to study modern warfare sciences. To achieve the best for my country, out of loyalty for what it has bestowed upon us of wealth and prosperous life." It was the harbor that His Majesty led the homeland ship to with courage, determination, clarity in vision, love for the country and the people. It is the National Action Charter project, which laid the strong foundations for a homeland that enjoys freedom, justice, and free parliamentary elections. The National Action Charter project was set of written principles His Majesty the King sought to make a reality experience by the people before being put out as a referendum by his many courageous and kind initiatives. He knew by his wisdom that the most valuable asset owned by man is freedom, and for he who was born free should live free. Hence he issued his orders to release all prisoners, and joy spread across the nation. His vision made him realize that alienation is a disease that eats away the human spirit and body, and that no man, no matter what goes down, must go back home. Therefore, he orders to allow all the exiles to return home, extinguishing any anger in some raging hearts. and with his national sense, confident that the national security can only be achieved by the forearms of his loyal and faithful sons and not by extraordinary roles. So he issued his orders to abolish the state security law. The 14th and 15th of February 2001 were days of referendum by the people on the draft charter. The result was startling to many, where the percentage of those agreed to the draft charter was 98.4%. Based on that almost complete approval on the national charter draft, Bahrain transformed to a constitutional monarchy. Furthermore, based on the king's order, a community of experts to make necessary amendments to the constitution was formed, and the amended constitution was issued in 2002 to add another stronger brick in building liberty, justice, and progress in parliamentary work. The Bahraini political movement and forces have sought an early move to form political entities by law in preparation for the municipal election held on the 9th of May 2002, as well as the House of the Representative elections, which were conducted on the 24th of October 2002. On the 14th of December 2002, His Majesty the King inaugurated the role of the first session of the first legislative term of the Shura and the Representative Council to start the process of parliamentary life on track after a break in 1975. Since ancient times, Bahrain has been a country of culture, science, and arts. This is what the state sought to establish in the past decades, and over the past decade in particular, where many cultural and artistic projects were realized. Many universities and scientific centers were opened, and since his succession to the throne, several newspapers and magazines were issued. Many scholars, writers, and artists were honored. Bahrain witnessed unprecedented demand on seminars and various exhibitions, and several books were published, making Bahrain a destination for seekers of knowledge and culture from the Gulf region's citizens. Comprehensiveness of the reform project of His Majesty the King made it accommodate various fields, of which the foremost is the field of religious affairs, which received special attention by the state to preserve the Arabic and Islamic identity of the Kingdom of Bahrain and the entrenchment of the principles and values of the Islamic region. This has been represented in the construction of dozens of different side mosques during the period from the year 2003 until the year 2012, and was all built at the expense of the state. Moreover, on the 14th of August 2013, the launch of the Bahraini Mus'haf, Quran, for more emphasis on the interest and care given by the Kingdom of Bahrain to everything related to religion, and due to such care and attention, to religious affairs that His Majesty the King was chosen by the Holy Quran Memorization International as Person of the Year 1434, and in recognition of his sponsorship for the issuance of the Bahraini version of the Quran. In the context of outstanding care given by the state for orphans, widows, and the needy, the Royal Charity Organization Bahrain was established on the 14th of July 2001 to carry out acts of kindness and charity and ensure care for widows, orphans, the elderly, and people with special needs.
دائما يعني أجمل الأيام اللي أشوفكم فيها وأحسن الأيام.
Despite the many gains achieved by the Bahraini woman through decades of struggle, what she had achieved in the past decade signifies a major leap forward representative in her achievement of a number of senior positions in the state, such as becoming a minister, ambassador, and judge, along with many other key positions. One of the most significant gains in the area of political rights, as stipulated in Article 1 of the Constitution, in that citizens, men and women, have the right to participate in public affairs and to enjoy political rights, including the right to vote and to be elected.
أقسم بالله العظيم أن أكون مخلصة للوطن والملك.
To ensure the continuity and consolidation of the gains achieved by the Bahraini woman, the Supreme Council for Women was created, headed by the wife of His Majesty the King, Her Royal Highness Sheikh Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa. Tackling poverty, ignorance, and disease are the things that the Kingdom of Bahrain have given extra care about, with the aim to provide a decent life for the citizens, as numerous projects were launched to raise the citizens' standard of living, eradicate poverty wherever it exists, and provide education at all levels, and advance healthcare for every citizen and resident. Throughout its long history, Bahrain stayed a country of love, peace, and tolerance, which made it a destination for those looking for livelihood, knowledge, and safety from several countries near and far. This has also prepared it to be an arena for dialogue between different religions and cultures, where many institutions of civil society was established that are concerned with the culture of dialogue. And since the King is the first patron of this culture, His Majesty announced during a meeting of the General Assembly of the United Nations that Bahrain was ready to host a Bahrain-based Secretary General for the dialogue of religions and cultures. The King also suggested the adaptation of Universal Declaration by the United Nations that included the role of religious in anchoring peace, justice, and freedom in the world.
في التاريخ أن العرب مسلمين ومسيحيين ويهودا وسواهم من أهل الديانات والمعتقدات الأخرى لا يمكن أن يتعايشوا إلا في ظل دولة مدنية تقوم على التسامح. ونحن إذ نتحدث من واقع تجربة بلدنا البحرين التي وبحكم الانفتاح القائم بها وبجذورها الحضارية الممتدة في عمق التاريخ، والتي كانت رمزا في تراث العالم القديم للتعايش والتفاعل، بين هذه العطاءات الإنسانية.
In the area of human rights, which constitutes a fundamental pillar of the reform project of His Majesty the King, His Majesty has crowned many of the gains that Bahrain has achieved in this area by proposing the establishment of an Arab court for human rights to contribute to the support of human rights issues in the Arab world. This proposal came within the speech of His Majesty the King on the 24th of November 2011. This project has received the support and endorsement of the Arab League, and it was agreed the Kingdom of Bahrain to become the headquarters for that court.
وفي هذا المجال فإننا نهيب بالدول العربية الشقيقة أن تمضي قدما وبكل عزم لإنشاء محكمة عربية لحقوق الإنسان تأخذ مكانتها الحقيقية على الساحة الدولية.
The principles of goodness, justice, freedom, peace, and non-interference in the internal affairs of states are the most important and distinguished principles of the special policy of the foreign affairs of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Since His Majesty the King came to power in Bahrain, he sought to deepen and consolidate those principles via many visits to many world countries and His Majesty's meeting with their leaders and rulers. Bahrain has also paid special attention to Arab issues, namely the Palestinian cause, and had its distinguished contribution in many projects and development plans in a number of Arab countries through the establishment of schools, hospitals in those Arab countries. And the Kingdom of Bahrain, after all, remains a state that is looking forward with confidence and faith to the future of the human race that is built on foundation of freedom, justice, peace, and parliamentary freedom. A state that does not discriminate between its children and does not compromise its freedom and dignity. A state that reaches out with love and peace to all nations of the world. A state that derives from its ancient past what it can employ in building and developing its present, in pursuit to provide a bright future for all its citizens.